The personal touch can take your brand to a new level. Brad Swinehart's guest, Andrew Saksa, helps advisors do that at ReminderMedia. Brad, would you please introduce us to Andrew?
Andrew is probably one of my best friends in the industry because of two really important things. One, he's really funny. And then also he is that relationship guy, right? He understands how to connect with people. He understands how to be the epitome of a networker. Andrew, sorry it's taken so gosh darn long to get you on the show, but super excited to hear all of your skills just for the audience today.
Well, thanks, Brad. And I definitely consider you one of my very best friends as well. It's funny. How long have we known each other now? About 5 years, right? Something pretty close to that. And it's funny, we talk a lot about the relationship stuff. I got to tell you, man, out of everybody I've ever worked with, I look forward to spending time with you. I always enjoy our conversations, and I learn so much from you on a regular basis. So I'm happy to be on the podcast with you, and looking forward to the next time we get together for sure.
Heck yeah, it's got to be back in Vegas with one of those flowery drinks because it's been a minute since I've been out there. So
absolutely.
a little not quite as long for you though, as if you're an avid Instagrammer, make sure you follow Andrew. He's always posting awesome stuff. So ReminderMedia, you guys work with 30,000 realtors or plus, and you guys are basically the kings of branding and relationship marketing. And, you've taken the advisor space by storm. And I think that what is super interesting about this, and I want to hear your perspective on it, is how does relationship marketing, how does that tie into an advisor's practice?
Yeah, great question. Well, when you look at what's going on today, right, with markets in flux and everything else, why does a client work with a financial advisor? I mean, these days there's so many resources that they can do on their own, right? So why would somebody, some high net worth investor, choose to work with a financial advisor when they can do so much online? Well, I would tell you, in my opinion, it really comes down to the relationship. It's really how well you're able to connect at that emotional level with both halves of that household. How are you able to connect to the next generation? And then the real success for the financial advisor is how are they able to leverage their practice to generate more referrals and ultimately increase their assets under management? And all that stuff comes from the relationship. The deeper that the client knows the advisor and all the good things that the advisor does in the community, the stronger the relationship is for the advisor to both halves of that household, the next generation, the better their practice is going to be. And it's funny, Brad, you obviously use our magazine, and we appreciate that very much as a way to strengthen your relationship with all these folks. My wife and I just had a huge moment in our life. Our daughter graduated college. I mean, that's a huge milestone.
You are not old enough to have a daughter graduating college, my young friend.
Well, thank you for that one. I appreciate it, and I definitely am. But anyway, so, the neat thing about it is if my financial advisor reached out to me and literally said, "Hey, Andrew, hey, Tamla, congratulations on Tori graduating college. I know that's a big moment for you guys." If there was a turnkey way to be able to, again, have that connection where the advisor doesn't necessarily have to spend all the time to do it, that's where we come in, and that's where we shine. And I think that's one of the reasons why you and I, Brad, are so successful in the industry in general, is we do build on the relationship, right? We don't just know people. Our relationships are real relationships with people. So yeah, that's, I think, the key to the game.
So let me poke at you a little bit here because I have my opinions on this, but I'd love to hear yours. You said a couple of times, like connecting with both sides of the household. I've heard some people say, well, there's one decision maker. So what is the importance of getting both people to, even at a base level, to connect with you as a professional?
Yeah. I would tell you, obviously, hey, look, let's face it, the financial industry is still extremely male dominated. And a lot of the male financial advisors, like you say, they're old school, and they really do look at the male head of the household as the person that they need to connect with first. And I disagree. I honestly do. I think that spouses these days are such a huge part of the decision-making process. If they don't have a strong enough relationship with both halves of that household, and God forbid something happens to him, statistically, we know that that account is very likely to move and move quickly. So I would say, just, from good business practice, spouses are a huge part of the decision-making process. We just talked about the fact they're quickly to leave the advisor if they don't feel a strong enough connection, even at the client one-on-one, right? I mean, just basic stuff for a financial advisor. Look, as much time as you're spending engaging with the male head of the household at that one-on-one, since people are able to go back into the office, boy, I'll tell you what, you should be spending at least that much time engaging with her as well. And if you're not, I think it's a real mistake for your practice. And we know for sure that those outflows, boy, I'll tell you what, they come in pretty quick, hot and heavy, and it doesn't have to be passed along. It could be a divorce, could be anything. So again, what a great opportunity. And I should mention this too, not for nothing, spouses are 4 times more likely to give a referral than he ever is. So
well, okay, now you piqued their interest, right? Like, okay, let's talk. Erin Botsford, a mutual friend of ours, she always talks about the other half always will have veto power. Even if they're not the decision maker, if you totally alienate them, you could still potentially lose a client or lose a sale. And, I think what you guys do at Reminder is just so powerful, because it's not what an advisor would expect to want to share all the time. We run into this at White Glove. We run advisors' social media for them. We do email campaigns for them. And we really focus on the nurturing side of it, not the lead generation. If you want to get in front of new people, great. Go to a seminar, go to a webinar. We'll do those for you. But what's interesting when it comes down to content sharing is, too often, as good salespeople often do, they say, okay, this is what I want to talk about because this is what I want my prospects to think about, but they're not necessarily putting a ton of value on staying top of mind. And I think that's something that you guys really mastered in the real estate world, of that whole world is top of mind. You're going to call the person you think of first, and there's relationships there, and there's family, friends. So, what is your ideas as far as content goes? Is what should you be sharing on a regular basis? We've talked, if nothing else on this podcast, dozens and dozens of times, that you have to do things on a regular basis. It has to be consistent to see any traction. So what would you recommend for content to be shared on a regular basis?
So what we found, again, is we're going to try and match content to whatever the advisor's client's interests are. So we have 4 different magazines now. We have our flagship, which is the American Lifestyle magazine, which we've been doing for over 20 years. For those of you that don't know ReminderMedia, our magazine is pretty unique because of the fact that it costs less than the cost of a Hallmark card. So you can't go to a Walmart these days, buy a card, stick a stamp on it, send it out to your client for even close to what we're able to send the magazine out to clients. Again, it's all turnkey. But at the end of the day, when it comes to content, a lot of the financial advisors are so dead set that every single piece of information that they send to a client has got to be market related. And I would tell you that is absolutely wrong. It's without a question of a doubt.
You're wrong.
Well, and I'll tell you the reason why, right? Look, every time the financial advisor is having a conversation with the client, they're already having a lot of conversations about what they're doing to be able to protect portfolios, help money grow, all that other stuff. But that's not really strengthening the relationship. In order to strengthen a relationship, you got to know, what are your client's interests? If your client's interests are fly fishing, golf, things like that, guess what? We're going to send something that's going to match to what their interests are. We have a new Business in Action magazine, which, Brad, I believe we're actually going to have you write an article in, because again,
this guy?
this guy right there. So again, if you're dealing with a small business owner or an entrepreneur, what excites him? What interests him? We're going to give that gentleman or that lady content that they're going to engage with. Again, if you have clients that are interested in diet, fitness, exercise, Brad, nobody hits a gym harder than you do, man. I try constantly to try and keep up with you in the gym, and I can't. So again, I know, again, one of the things I know about you is you are interested in diet, fitness, exercise. So again, we're going to create content that's
body image issues, whatever, however you want to label it, it's fine.
I know one thing, you're a great business development guy, you're a great musician, and you absolutely destroy weights. So, like I said, if we can match content to whatever the client is interested in, we know that's going to strengthen the relationship. And ultimately it's the relationship that keeps that client engaged with the advisor. And if I can do it in a way that's turnkey, to connect to both halves of the household, connect to that next generation, and then leverage those relationships to generate more referrals, we're way ahead of the game.
I love that. And it's too often that as a salesperson, as a professional, as an advisor, we kind of get into our heads of saying, hey, this is what I sell. This is what I do for a living. This is what my business is. But, at the end of the day, this is a people industry, right? It's a numbers game, but it's a people industry, and you have to connect with your clients. And I think, what Andrew said right at the beginning is we're going to tailor the content to what your clients' interests are, and I think that is something to really take hold, because so often we're saying, well, what do I want to say? What do I want them to know about me? And, that's fine for marketing, right? That's fine for sales. Once you have that contact, once you have that client, now it's time to build that relationship. And guess what? It's not all about you. It's about them. It's about their interests. It's about, connecting with them, not to sell them something or show how smart you are, but connect with something that interests them. And the only reason that you're attached to it is to stay top of mind. And I think that oftentimes, advisors or any professionals in the sales business, we lose track of how important staying top of mind with somebody is. Whether that's a prospect that came to a white glove seminar 2 years ago and hasn't turned into a client yet, or it's that client that, unbeknownst to you, they just went through a life event, or they are very afraid of X, Y, and Z in the marketplace right now, right? You don't need to be constantly reassuring them all the time, but if you stay top of mind with them, they're going to remember, hey, you know what? If I do have questions or concerns, Andrew's my guy, and I remember he's available, whatever I need him with. I think you did a great job of explaining, both heads of the household, connecting with that. I like the content options. I'm going to pick on you a little bit here. White Glove, it's 7 years ago, we were the first people to say, let's go all digital. Let's drive people to events through Facebook and LinkedIn and Google. And, the years have gone by where we've gotten so much better at it. And obviously you got some other people said, hey, that might be a good idea, but we were kind of the first. And we used to talk about, the dinosaurs still using snail mail, the archaic methods of cutting down trees and printing things on paper and sending it out. And, I say that all in jest, but, you guys deliver a magazine service, right? So, if you're talking to a tech savvy guy like me that has everything he ever needs sitting in his pocket all day long, explain to me why a magazine is something I should look into. And trust me, I already believe in it because I use it, but I want to hear from the man, the myth, the legend, Andrew himself, of why is printing things on paper still even needed today?
That's so awesome. I love that. And in fact, oftentimes when I go into offices with financial advisors, or I do Zoom meetings, or I do presentations, the first thing I do is I'll walk in, I'll hold up the magazine, and I'll say, real quick, guys, show of hands, print is dead, right? Print's dead. Everybody knows it. Come on, everybody, show your hands. And the funny thing is we are growing faster than we've ever grown as an organization. We've been around 20 years, but we're going to send out 12.7 million magazines this year. And the reason why we're going in leaps and bounds is you hit the nail on the head. Everybody's getting digital emails. Everybody's getting social media stuff. And to be honest with you, the thing that really makes us successful is nothing really makes it from a mailbox these days past a trash can to a coffee table like our magazines because of the quality, right? It's glossy, it's hard stock, it's beautiful. The customization right down to the individual client level.
I know that good looking guy in there.
That little Luke Acree, man, he is a good looking dude, man. Still want to see who's got the better chops in the gym between the two of you. But that's a conversation for another day. But again, how are you able to stay top of mind, like you said, on a coffee table, right? Because again, with the magazine, what we know for sure is it really will make it from a mailbox past a trash can to a coffee table, stay there for 4 to 6 weeks. And every time that client goes and reaches for that remote on the coffee table, they're looking back at Luke. They're looking back at you. They're realizing that the relationship with you is the reason why they continue to do business. And the nice thing about it is we do it in a way that's turnkey, where the magazine always comes out fresh 6 times a year. So every 2 months, you're showing up in their mailbox in a way that's a different format. But Brad, look, we know a couple things that are really kind of interesting, right? These days, people are pet folks. You probably hear my cats crying in the background or meowing at something. You probably hear my dog.
Zoom gave us a very intimate look into people's lives, right? Sometimes too intimate, but yeah, we can determine now if our clients have pets usually.
Yep. You got my dog probably go off at some point in time because that's what Louie Dog does. And the funny thing is one of the biggest issues we'll send out all year long is our pet edition. And again, the reason why it's so popular is I know you're a dog guy. Imagine if you have a picture with you, your dog on the cover of the magazine. The articles are all about animals and how to take care of animals. And then you've got the back cover of the magazine where you can actually feature maybe a strong referral partner, or even maybe there's a veterinary clinic right around the corner and you just give them a little bit of love as a way to tie in. It's funny. Again, the relationship. If the client knows the advisor at that core level, oh man, they're a pet guy, I'm a pet guy. Oh man, they support this cause, I support that cause. Brad, the funny thing, we were just talking about the back cover of the magazine. Again, so many financial advisors want to use the back cover of the magazine to feature maybe something that's an ad for a product, right? Maybe the hot annuity or whatever it happens to be. I always tell the advisor, that's great. They're already going to talk to you about that stuff. Talk to them about that stuff on your own. I would recommend this. If you knew that a client has a relationship with the American Cancer Society because maybe they lost somebody, or maybe they're getting ready to do a 10K or a 5K for, you name it, MS. My mother had MS for 20 years. If my financial advisor was doing something in the community to support the MS Society, man, I'll tell you, I would go and be a raving fan for that advisor every chance I possibly could, just because I know that they cared about something that was near and dear to me. And again, that's really where it comes down to. Our magazine's crazy. It's so successful and it's grown in leaps and bounds, even through the COVID period. In fact, growing faster than ever. I think we're up to 300 employees now, Brad, and I think, over $60 million in revenue. All that success isn't because of the fact that it's such a beautiful magazine. It really is, but it's not that. It's every day we help financial advisors make more money. It's every day we help insurance agents make more money. Every day we help the real estate agent make more money by staying connected with their top clients. Because the one thing you and I know better than anything, and I preach this every chance I can, it doesn't matter what industry you're in. If your top client is it really doesn't matter. If your top A-book client, we'll focus on the financial advisor. If your top A-book client is connected to you, I promise they know right now 3 or 5 people that like them and value their opinion, have the same amount of assets. And the only thing that's missing for you to turn them into your client using the old Zig Ziglar formula of being like, known, and trusted is your ability to get in front of them so that, again, consistently, you are like, known, and trusted. And I promise that will absolutely generate more business for your practice. So it's a long answer.
Yeah, I love long answers. What's interesting about the service, the magazines, I always preach, if you're going to stay in front of your clients, you have to do it omni-channel, right? You have to, 10 years ago, advisors learned they needed a website. It was like the cost of doing business. Before that, it was they had to have a sign out front. Before that, it was they had to wear a suit, and today, LinkedIn, Facebook, email marketing, those things are like the cost of doing business. If you're not doing them, you're losing sales. And if you don't think your ideal prospects are on Facebook, you're wrong. There's more Facebook users than Christians in this world. So that's neat. And 70% of prospects are going to look you up on LinkedIn before they give you a call. So, that's the cost of doing business. But if you want to take it to that next level of, okay, everything you can do digitally, phone call, text, email, Facebook, LinkedIn, it's literally all right here in their pocket, right? So when they set that down for the evening or the grandkids are running around the house and they're not paying attention to it, there's that other option, and it's a little old school, which I give Andrew a hard time for, but it works, and we've got every advisor that we've worked with that has done seminars with us and then uses Reminder Media. Every single one of them is still doing it, including the founders of White Glove. They love those magazines. And, if you use Reminder Media, you make your own, you send something else out in the mail, whatever you want to do. But having that other channel in there, right? That's so important. And then focusing on that content that isn't about you. Right. Andrew hit something just awesome there. Like I am a dog guy, right? Unfortunately recently just lost my dog, and man, how powerful would it have been if I got something with that and it supports, some sort of, cause like that, or, hit those heartstrings, right? When I was thinking about it, like, those are the things that really endear you to somebody else when you can see what they care about and it aligns with what you care about. And what a huge opportunity to do that. And guess what? It's not about putting an ad of an annuity on anything, right? So I love that. What do you think would be the crux of getting more referrals? What should someone be? Is it the old, look, I know somebody that just like you and I help people, blah, 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 or is it staying top of mind, or is it, marketing and telling them what you do? In your opinion, you're a guy that gets a lot of referrals, right? I know I send you a bunch because you've developed a solid relationship, and I know that you're going to take care of people I send over to you. But for the professionals listening today, what is that absolute need that they have to be doing, the necessity to generate a referral? What is that? What is that thing?
Well, I'm going to give your coach, Frank Maselli, who I think is absolutely one of the greatest coaches in the industry by far. And boy, I'll tell you what, if you are not tuned into Frank, you are missing the boat. Frank Maselli absolutely hits the nail on the head. The industry always teaches the financial advisor, the insurance agent, you name it, when is the best time to ask for the referral? And they always say it's when you first open the account. Yep. Now, Frank Maselli has the greatest story in the world about why that is literally the worst time to ask for the referral. And I'll share it because I actually share it all the time. So Frank, shout out to you, my man. But Frank said, if you asked a client for a referral when you first opened the account, it would be very similar to you going on a blind date. And you had an amazing time on that date. And you walked that date to their doorstep and you asked them, did you have a nice time? Of course, they responded that they did. And right then and right there, you ask, hey, that's great. Who are the 3 or 5 other women that would also like to date me? It would be awkward, insane, and the date would end up terribly. So the same thing for the financial advisor. And I'll bring it back to Zig Ziglar because, again, I love him. Our theory and our why we've been so successful is this. We touched on it earlier. Every single one of your top A-book clients knows 3 or 5 people that are exactly like them, have the same assets, value your client's opinion, and would love to be your client if you could just, again, be liked, known, and trusted. So the way we tie it back to the magazine is this. We say, hey, listen, when you send out the magazine, you just gave somebody a gift, right? Who doesn't like a gift? Rule of reciprocity absolutely will kick in. And most people are good people. So you send them the magazine. You said, did you like it? Do you want me to continue to send it to you? By the way, who are the 2 people I should send this magazine to? Now, we all just talked about the fact that every single one of your top A-book clients knows 3 or 5 people just exactly like them. I guarantee they're going to throw you a couple of those names. Now, how do you get liked, known, and trusted with that new referral in a way that's turnkey? Well, you're liked with that referral because guess what? You just send them a gift, right? Who doesn't like getting a gift? So again, the nice thing is you're liked, you gave them a gift, you're known because you're featured right there on the cover of the magazine, just like Luke or just like Brad. So you're known. Again, it's very professional. So again, you're elevated in your practice. And why are you trusted? You're trusted because you're coming to them from one of their friends. So again, the nice thing is if you just try this out one time, I would tell you using that philosophy, you're going to have great success being liked, known, and trusted with all those friends, colleagues, and business associates of your top client in a way that is unique, turnkey, and very affordable. So that's my spin on it. But I love you guys, man. And I'll tell you, Frank, seriously, I think Frank Maselli is one of the best coaches in the world. That's just one of the things I use when I'm talking about how to generate referrals. But I grab a couple of those tidbits from Frank. He's amazing.
Oh, I love listening to Frank. I've probably seen him, 10 or 12 times, and I die laughing every time, and I learn something every time. So, Frank is one of those just greats. And I think he's actually been on the podcast. We should probably get him back on here again. I think I want to bring you back on and really talk more on the, the business development side as well as growth. Something that's super, just amazing to me is how you guys are, what you sell is print, what it's delivered to mailboxes. And you guys went from this huge operation to a growing, sprawling, almost or totally virtual company. And I think a lot of advisors and professionals out there would love to learn, well, how do you do that and maintain a positive culture? Because you walk through ReminderMedia's office and you can tell they love their clients. You can tell they love their employees. There's energy there. And the fact that they went fully remote and still have that is just inspiring. So I think we got to get you back on. We'll talk a little bit about that. Maybe we let Luke on here again. He's typically pretty funny, but we know who gets all the work done over there and makes all the things move, and that's you, sir.
Well, thanks, Brad, man. I tell you, we appreciate this partnership more than I can ever tell you. I mean, honestly, Brad, I've said it before and I'll say it to anybody who I run against. There's nobody in the business better than you, honestly, at business development, at just being a strong, ethical, incredible person. Boy, I'll tell you, they always talk about Tim Tebow, right? You spend time with Tim Tebow, it makes you a better guy. I promise you, if you get an opportunity to spend time with Brad Swineheart, you will absolutely walk away a better individual. So hats off to you.
I appreciate that, sir. Thank you very much for being on today. And for those of you guys listening, you know what? Use White Glove, don't use White Glove. Use ReminderMedia, don't use ReminderMedia. But what you can't do is let those tactics pass you by. It has to be relationship marketing. You have to talk what they want to hear about, and you have to break up that monotony of platform that you're using. You have to do it all, right? So thank you so much, sir. We will bring you back soon.
Thanks, Brad. And again, big shout out to Mike and Dean. Boy, I'll tell you what, the things you guys are doing at White Glove are just incredible. So we're so grateful to the partnership, and I'm always grateful to you, Brad.
Great discussion, gentlemen. Andrew Saksa of Reminder Media with Brad Swineheart, the host of Be Advised, Leading with Value. Follow this podcast and, of course, rate, review, and share.